We gotta get this recorded right here.
No, I'm being real.
I know. I'm trying to capture this moment. Go ahead.
Put it on YouTube. No, so I let her put a little bit too much on her plate, and it's my fault. You know, I had brought a lot of bread to the table, so I kind of justified it and let her do what she needed to do. And ultimately, it's not working now. And
so it brought a lot of money to the table and just let her do what she wanted to do. And he said that's not working right now, you know. A lot of people are saying being real is good. Okay. Yeah, sure. Being real is good. What do you mean by that? Okay. I think being real is good too. Depends on, now that depends on if we mean the same thing. Are we saying the same thing or, you know, totally different things, right? So a lot of times I might say being real is good and you said being real is good, but we're actually speaking completely different things, right? So I would definitely, again, the talking points are becoming real. Okay, they're becoming real problems for people, right? Now, if you look at the way they just play back and forth and they kind of like a slight disagreement there, put the camera back on your face, this, that, like there's some, it's not about what they were saying per se, but you start to pay attention, there's some tension there, right? There's almost like somebody's, I don't know, maybe you can tell yet, somebody's walking on eggshells. Yeah, that's not gonna last. It's not sustainable. Right? You want your partner to feel free around you. You want to love in a way that they feel free around you, and vice versa, both ways, right? But all you can worry about is you. You need to make sure, you need to do everything in your power that your partner feels free around you. And then you need to be sensitive to if they're coming off as they're walking on eggshell, as opposed to being sensitive to how they offend you. Listen, that's the easy part. If your spouse, your partner is offensive, it's easy to pick that up because you're offended clearly, right? The work is when you are sensitive, when you build the muscle to be sensitive to, are they walking on eggshells around me? Because why? Because if you know long term, that's not gonna last. Because the real them, the balance, right? The equilibrium is going to have to be stricken at some point. They're going to go back to their center, even if it's by force at some point, right? So if you look at this interaction, you start noticing somebody's walking on eggshells.
And she's been asking me for a while to step up and handle certain things. I'm being real about it, you know, so
listen,
it is what it is.
This is the thing.
Somebody says she too serious. Calm down, lady.
Read these comments.
You gotta censor this before
you also got to read the comments, baby.
I ain't reading.
Somebody said, did he just start doing that? No, this has been being how you are.
Somebody said, Monique, you do talk too much. They're coming for her in the comments, and she's seeing it, and she's about to react to all of it. How you react to one thing in life tends to be how you react to everything else in life. How you do one thing tends to be how you do everything else in life. It's just who you are. It's your personality, your temperament. It's just the way you are. So imagine when there's no cameras on and it's just the two of them together, right? How does she react? She's not wrong, okay? She's not wrong. She has real life issues that she's reacting to, right? But remember, it's not about right and wrong. It's not. It's not about being a perfect person. It's not about being a good or bad person, okay? Both good and bad people, mostly good people, end up in divorce courts, okay? So we need to start paying attention.
This is how it's been the entire time we've been married. And I was about to say that. This is how it's been since we've been dating. So what happened was, I used to be Chris's business manager. I was like working for him. Once we started dating, I started working for him shortly after, right? So while we were dating, while he was playing in the NFL and everything else, I was handling everything, right? So in that sense, if I had to be the bad guy, if I had to look bad so that Chris can look great, if I had to handle whatever I handle, because not just because we were together, but because I was working for him, it was my job, I did that. So when we got married, before we got married, we had conversations in marriage counseling. And I basically said to him, this has to change. Because if we're now married, I can't keep covering you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the man of the house. Like, you got to cover me.
There's been
like,
some situations where I've looked at too. But it's been some situations where I should have looked out more for you.
It should have been. So we went into our marriage the same way that we were dating and doing business together, which was a huge mistake. We should have divided that line and made it very clear before I even walked down the aisle, honestly. So, and we both acknowledged that. So it's been a huge effort on both of our parts, me to let go and then also Chris to pick it up for the past decade. And what you're witnessing now is Monique, who is on her last leg and who is like, I'm fed up. I'm tired of having the same conversation all the time. And I really need for change.
All right, so you could see.
Fed up. I'm tired of having the same conversation all the time. And
Somebody said, Monique, shut up, please, right? You can see that in the comments there. Let me see if I can make it bigger for you to see, right? Somebody said, Monique, shut up, please. So people, it's like 50-50. Some people are coming for her. Some people are saying, hey, speak your truth, right? Yeah, that's speak your truth stuff, right? Now, those people that are coming for her, I don't think it's necessary to. Listen, it's a very difficult thing they're going through, right? And this is personality clashes, temperament clashes all over the place. This is what causes these issues for the most part. Okay, most people in divorce court are now people going through paternity fraud. They're not, like, it wasn't triggered by cheating. Yeah, a lot of people end up cheating, but that's usually, like she said, last leg. That's like something that was more of a symptom, right? That's a way. It's a way, like, people use bad behaviors to fill voids, right? They do it all the time, including what she's doing right now, including overreacting to every little issue, right? That's still bad behavior, but it's a reaction. It's basically a reaction to other things going on. So when it feels right, people do all the wrong things because they're trying to correct what is feeling wrong, right? So yeah. So people are coming for her. Coming for her is not going to solve the issue. And I'm just looking at this issue. Really, what I want to highlight today is that, again, this can happen to anybody. What you should pay attention to is your blind spot. What could be in your blind spot right now? You have your reasons why you're reacting the way you're reacting, but the devil is going to use that same reason as a good excuse to perpetuate bad behavior. Either we're talking about cheating, talking too much, everything has got to be a conversation, insulting your partner, your wife, your husband, because it's justified, right? And it feels good in the moment, right? But what about long term? Are you paying attention to the long term effect of this? Have you spent some time highlighting the strength of your partner, or you just spend most of the time reacting to their weakness and the offensive nature of their weaknesses, right? These are the questions I would want you to ask. For them right now, it's too late. It's 87% chances that it's too late. When people separate, there's only a little bit of a 10% chance that they will ever come back together ever again. Okay, according to some studies. So she already filed for divorce. When she filed for divorce, she tried to seal the document. There's a lot of stuff going on there, right? There's much more than what you see on TV too, right? It's bad. But you can look at this guy. When a guy comes to sit down with you on a live session where he has to walk on eggshells, does it mean it's worth it to save the marriage? No. Okay? But you might want to pay attention to that, because if it was a guy who is full of pride, who is operating from a place of pride, he would never sit down in front of a live session talking to a bunch of strangers where he has to watch every word he says, right? But let's see how it goes. Again, that's something he has to hold himself accountable for as well, because you're responsible to learn how attraction works. You can't say, hey, she made me want to please her. And you can't say that. That's a terrible excuse too. You're supposed to watch actions at the end of the day, because actions speak louder than words.
I really need for change to happen, not just saying all right, I'm gonna do better. All right, I'm gonna do better. So that's where we are currently in this show. And for the people that keep saying, Monique, but you need to be quiet, you also have to remember we're filming a reality show. If it were like a normal everyday scene, first of all, when you're doing reality TV, your subconscious and your conscious mind has to be verbalized. So if I'm doing a lot of talking in the scene, it's because if I'm not driving the scene, we're not talking about anything.
All right, so Monique didn't get it that they weren't talking about the scene. They were talking about right here, right now in this live session. Okay? They're talking about right here, right now during this live session. But, you know, Shalaye is a bastard. She had to do explaining of everything because she needs to validate. Not only does she needs to validate, she needs to be validated. And you know, and you can see that guy is quiet. Just look at his face next to him. He's trying to do the right thing, right? And what happens that when you overdo trying to do the right thing too, if it's not real, if it's not coming from an authentic place, if you're pouring from an empty cup, you're going to blow up when you do blow up. And that anger is going to be bad, okay? Because you suppress. So what is the solution? Should you have been arguing with her? No, that's not what I'm saying. I think this live session is a terrible idea. They should have kept a TV show as a TV show. As a TV show, they need support systems. They need to stop talking when there's no support system around, especially when she's self-proclaiming that I'm on my last leg, right? So the last thing you ever want to be is being like an overpleaser. It doesn't work. That's not really what they're asking for. When your wife says, I need you to do this, do that for me, and then you're overpleasing her, or you're trying to please her and you're doing it just because, it's not going to work. It's not coming from an authentic place, right? It can work if you make sure that you're pouring from not an empty cup, from a full cup. Then it will work. What that means is that you actually take the time to understand why you're doing what you're doing. It starts from little things as apologies, right? If you're apologizing for something, make sure you understand why you're apologizing. Don't just apologize to push issues under the rug. It will backfire. It becomes resentment. Eventually, you ask yourself, why am I the only one apologizing all the time, right? What do you mean all the time? That means all those times you were apologizing, you didn't mean it. Right? You're just doing it to please the other person. It doesn't work.
We're just gonna be sitting there. Like
so
this.
She's just explaining the show. It wasn't about the show.
No, I will say this. I didn't know that was my cue. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a cue.
See, you just said I'm sorry. I didn't know that was my cue. I'm sorry.
I was showing them exactly what would happen.
No.
And you just did it.
And then it's now have a urge to explain.
Do it again. No.
If they stay in that kissy moment, if they could stay in that kissy moment, how perfect would the world be? Their world. How perfect would it be? But they can't. They must explain everything to strangers. Okay? But it didn't start with the strangers. In the course of their argument between each other all the time, that's toxic argument. That's essentially what is happening. I need you to validate me. You need to tell me I'm right. And both people are doing that. It's not going to work, right? It's not going to work because no one is listening, right?
No kids a week. No. I will say this. I forgot my point.
How sweet would it be if he actually forgot the point and never came back to the point? The worst she's going to say is like, I knew it. You never take me seriously. Like, no, of course I do take you seriously. Can you remind me the point? No, I do take you seriously. No, but then she's going to be mad if I don't remember. Not necessarily, okay? She might say she'll be mad if you don't remember. But really, this laugh on her face right now is really all you're trying to sustain for longer periods of time. Especially when you're both laughing together. Okay, however way you're going to get into this space in a sustainable manner over time, that's what you're looking for. Not the semantics, not the exact what it was supposed to be when I was right and you were actually wrong at that time, and all this extra stuff that people engage in. Communication in the name of communication is BS. You're not communicating, you're not hearing each other. Okay, and the worst part about all of it is that you're not creating results. What is results? What you're looking at on the screen right now. That will be result, not just in this moment, over time, sustained over time. But they probably don't know how to do that. They couldn't, because a few minutes ago she was talking about she's on her last leg, yet they had moments where they could get to laughter like this. This moment is real. If this moment right now is real, now I believe this moment is real, as a matter of fact, right? And if this moment is real, how sweet would it be if we can find a way to simplify, like, see, this moment of laughter is what we're looking for, and we need to bring it down to this. How did we get here into this moment? Can we find a way to sustain this over time? Right? Yeah, they probably couldn't, because the obsession with being right, it kills attraction. It's only a matter of time.